Yay Media Group.
I have all these thoughts and questions that I want to ask you too, just about you. And of course, I want to know about like the Yvie before Drag Race and like what that looked like. But I just remember before we started FaceTime and before like when we were working with like early stages of us working together, I was kind of nervous to just pick up the phone and like call you. Like I just wasn't sure if we were at that level of our friendship yet. And so once we did it and it felt so like nice, I was like, oh yeah, let's lock in. Let's go ahead and get this going.
Ryan, that's so funny to hear because we're still not at that level.
I know. No shade. No shade, actually. Highkey. Welcome to the show, Bob the Drag Queen.
For me, Drag Race is a blessing. My life has changed so much because of RuPaul's Drag Race. I said it on the show and I'll say it again. I got to be on my favorite TV show. I got to win my favorite TV show. I got to see how the sausage is made and I came out and I still ate sausage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I went to the factory and I was like, this is great. I love this. I don't have to go back to the factory again to enjoy the sausage.
Yeah.
I can just eat the sausage now.
But
I can make review shows about the sausage.
So you don't feel it's at all a curse in any sort of way. Like I acknowledge that it's a blessing too. Drag Race literally fucking changed my life before I had a dream of being on it. And so much in the same way, like getting to that point and winning were just literally dreams come true, like unimaginable. But at the same time, do you ever like hunger? I mean, maybe you're at a different level in your career than I am, but do you ever hunger to like be put on a poster without having to have RuPaul's Drag Race above your name?
No, that doesn't really bother me. I mean, I do get to be on posters without RuPaul's Drag Race on there, but then but then it's like but then I'm like on a big poster and it's like, and it says like the Celebration Tour and it says Madonna in giant words and you look in the bottom right corner and it says Bob the Drag Queen.
I mean, no, your name was a little bit bigger than just in the corner. You were like a staple of that show.
You should go back and look at the poster. You'll gag me. I'll tell you my name is.
I'm gonna Google right now.
But I'm lucky that I got to be up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel it's really lucky that I got to be. And I think if I can say anything as a curse about Drag Race, and I don't think it is exclusive to Drag Race, I would say it's that we are thrust into the public eye, but we don't get media training. You know what I mean? So we don't get to. You're put out there, and people. I meet people and I do things that people don't like, and a lot of it I stand by. Some of it I don't, but for the most part, most stuff I've said and I've done, I truly stand by. And also, media analysis is not what it used to be because there's so much coming at us all the time. So someone online will say something, and there's no there. You don't have to fact check it. You don't have to fact check it. If someone said it, it is gospel. It is true. It is what it is. I don't care. All I know is that user 5.302674 said that Bob the Drag Queen blank, blank, blank. And that was literally all the proof I need because I never liked that bitch anyway. Because I used to work at a track and I was her bottle server and she didn't fucking say hi to me. So because of that interaction I had back in the day where I was her bottle server and she didn't smile at me, I knew deep down in my soul that she was a piece of shit the whole fucking time.
Wow, Drag
I just needed something to verify.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can invite her down if y'all want to reconcile.
Drag Yvie's roommate. No, but I guess also you may feel that way because you've been able to go off and like be a New York Times bestseller, have the traders, we're here.
Clock it. Wake it up.
Like I understand why you have a lot of positive feelings around the platform and what it's been able to do for you, because were you intentional about being not just a Drag Race girl?
No, I have no qualms with being a Drag Race girl. I will always be a Ru girl to the day I die, and it is a badge I wear with honor. I said one of my lines I said in my song was first in the game with a stamp from Ru, and I'd have been around the world. Who the fuck are you? I got a stamp from RuPaul. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
RuPaul told me I was the best one at that particular time. I have a crown over there that proves it. That is something, to be honest, I think that crown and that scepter over there are is more impressive than a lot of other stuff I've done in my life. It's definitely more rare. You know how many fucking Grammys they give out every year? They only give out 2 of those fucking crowns a year. Only 2 of those crowns get passed out every
only
year.
in this country, anyways. Yeah, they're popping those crown pussies everywhere around the world. They're like, I just met this hot Brazilian guy. I gave him a crown right on the spot. Oh, yeah.
Which is a place that is like on my bucket list to go is to Brazil.
That is true. I mean, in the States, they give out 2 of those a year, and they give out 40 whatever Grammys a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are they are prestigious, and they do mean a lot, and it really means a lot.
And they haven't lost. You all don't feel like they've lost their meaning.
I feel like All Stars doesn't mean shit. I've already said that before. I'm sorry. All Stars, where it's at right now, is like, and not even like this current season. It's like, it's become quite clear after a while that All Stars really is as much about like, you know, tension on productions and what the bitches are feeling and who's the biggest diva on set and like what is best for the brand. And while all of that is like still a part of a regular seasons, on a regular season, the judges don't know most of these bitches. They're like literally going in blind. And I think what's difficult about All Stars is not only do the fans have their own perceptions, but the judges still kind of look at all the girls like it's their first season of Drag Race. And like what they had done before was just like a challenge you were shitty at. Or something you were like Ginger was never not going to win this season.
Yeah, I can't speak much on All Stars because I've never done it. But I can say I have also on our podcast famously said that I think it is more impressive to win Drag Race than it is to win All Stars. And to be honest, I don't really have I mean, in Monet's defense, she has done All Stars twice. Monet's done 3 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. So I actually do not know what it's like to compete on All Stars. I just know what it's like to compete on RuPaul's Drag Race. You know what I mean?
Well, but you also know from a fan perspective.
Yeah,
right?
from a reviewer perspective.
Bitch, I'm talking about what I'm watching.
I've also helped people prepare for All Stars too. I've helped people prepare for RuPaul's Drag Race, and I've helped people prepare for All Stars.
Who?
And I've helped Naomi Smalls. I helped Jiggly Caliente. I've helped Monet Exchange. I've helped. I mean, my God, I've helped a lot of queens. I've written jokes. I've helped conceive outfits. I've helped a lot of queens. And Miss Cracker on her initial season. I've helped a lot of queens get ready for RuPaul's Drag Race.
Wow.
And it is harder doing it everyone I've helped. It is harder Drag Race than it is All Stars in their preparation stage. From what I've noticed.
It hella is.
It's so interesting. Yeah, I guess I can see what you all mean by Drag Race kind of being that's the thing sitting at the top of the mountain. Yeah, and it should still be revered in that way. And I think oftentimes when it comes to like things that, especially queer things that become mainstream, and especially at the rate that Drag Race comes, like, I mean, you have the international spinoffs, and you get a little, like, at one point, I feel like I've totally been burnt out over all of the Drag Race of it all. Like, I love it. At one point, I was just only watching the UK Drag Race. But at some point I dropped off. I didn't even really watch the season of All Stars because it's just a lot of content. But it's like, I want that content to stay, especially in this culture climate. I need RuPaul's Drag Race
like
to sort of stay there,
24/7.
That's the place where people are getting, you know, some of their first like interactions, I'm assuming, with like queer and trans folks.
I stopped watching international seasons after a pretty rough view of All Stars. I mean, not All Stars, Drag Race Down Under season 1. That was a pretty tough watch, so I fell off. And then there was a rough season of UK.
Canada's also rough for me.
There was a rough season of UK that I was like, oh God, I hated this. And then I just went back to just watching the States.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting because what I liked about those other seasons was specifically, no shade, but the ones without like Rue and Michelle as hosts, so I could see what's important to like their drag culture there. Like the first couple of seasons of Thailand are bangers. These bitches are like making the most insane artistry, lighting themselves on fire and then sucking their own dicks on the runway and then still going home that episode. So like, I found that mind blowing.
Drag Kings now. I mean,
King of Drag.
Yeah, King of Drag. Like, I mean, King, I think it's like King Molasses is who won. I might
King Molasses won, yeah.
Yeah, and so like, shout out to like this next iteration of
I watched
like,
the first 3 episodes of Kings of Drag, and I was really kiki. And yeah, I did. There was one episode that was like, I was like, this is a tough watch.
She's crunchy right now.
There's an episode that I was like, this is not Drag Race, because it was so. I'm so used to the ribbing and the shade and the love your dress at the confessionals. Your dress is hideous, and there was one episode of Kings of Drag that I was like, this is wild. It was the episode where they were confronting their fears, and everyone's performance was like really like.
They're like, and here's my trauma dump on you.
It was trauma. It was 30 minutes of non-stop trauma.
But that's
every once in a while, Murray Hill would come in and tell a dad joke, and then it was back to like, I almost killed myself. My family abused me, and I was like, my God, I guess I just wasn't mentally prepared.
Too soon is what you're saying.
Well, the reason why I like that is that reminds me of like going to like one of my crunchy ass drag daughters, like little shows at one of our only lesbian bars in Denver, and then seeing like everybody under the gender spectrum just being so bad at drag, but like putting so much heart into it. They're like, yeah, I'm going to do a 5.5 year long Regina Spektor number while I slice my own wrists with maybe a fake knife. And you're like, wow, I'll throw that queer dollar.
But I was so used to seeing like one of those amidst a bunch of other stuff. Like it's like Brat Summer, then one sad person gets up and does a number where they like puke into a bowl to show they've overcome their eating disorder. Like that's what it was like. It was
nonstop.
Every number, and I was like, oh my God, I need a break from Kings of Drag. I'm sure the next episode was light and fluffy again.
Which is
but I was
why
like,
maybe that everyone loves a crunchy first season. I mean, the Housewives, like Drag Race, like everyone remembers that crunchy first season because it's such
the crunch didn't bother me. The trauma dumping was too much for me.
Okay.
The trauma dump is a part of the crunch though, because on season 37 of Drag Race or whatever the fuck we're on now, like if they have a runway about fears or some shit, the producers are still there asking you like before you even go on. So what are you thinking about doing for this fear runway? Because if you try and show dick or titty hole or whatever, they'll have to chop it. So they're gonna like, nah. Or if you're trying to do a copyright character, they're like, no dick, titty, or goofy.
I mean, on my season, they never. On my season, they never made us show them our runway. That's why I was gagged when Manila and other girls were like, I couldn't do my tampon runway when I was on Drag Race. You did not show them anything. You just showed up with your stuff, you put it on, and you hit the runway.
Maybe that's what got them in trouble with the rule
but that's the thing is like you can still do that. You can show up with like whatever, but they'll ask you like the week of like, oh, what are you thinking of wearing? And bitch, they will chop something because they were like trying to chop shit for me like down to the finale of mine. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, it looked like I have bullets on my on one of my outfits because they were rubber bullets spray painted a different color. And they're like, I don't know, it could be too graphic for our viewers. We might have to cut it. And I'm like, well, then I'm walking on the streets, cock out. Make your choice.
We also had a thing on like on my season. We also didn't know what looks were for the runway, what looks were for challenges. We had no clue.
That's interesting.
They didn't say this is the runway. They would give you 20. They give you 20 looks. You have 2 weeks to figure it out. And there were looks that I spent a lot of time on that ended up being for challenges or that I didn't even wear. Like for example, when we did the RuPaul's Empire, every character we each made a look for each one of those characters. So I had a look. So I ended up wearing my chocolate chip cookie outfit, but I had looks for all those characters that I spent all this time on. So this is why I ended up wearing that Amazon suit on the runway because I thought they were like, oh, it's going to be roller derby. So I'm like, I was thinking to myself, oh, they're going to take us to a skating rink and it's going to be part of the challenge. I had no clue that it was going to be for the runway. And everyone always drags me, but I just want to remind them I won that challenge. So I'm not mad about it.
Real quick, speaking of crunchy, because I want to touch on other things as well besides that. Did you really think your Traitors run? Like, what did you think of your Traitors run?
I was amazing on that show.
Sister, were you?
I was amazing. And I was better than you would be if you were.
No, sister,
this is exactly why Bob is a good drag queen, because she won't back down. She's not going to go down that show,
and I was better than you would be if you were on the show.
I loved you on the reunion. I felt like you came in real hot, real strong, and that is just not the game.
Girl, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why you're wrong, and I can't wait to do this.
Please.
She's getting voted out again tonight.
Every single time that they brought my name up on that show, specifically it was only Dylan Efron doing it at first, he'd go around and he'd be like, Bob is guilty. Bob is a traitor. And
Easy target.
Everyone was like, Bob is not a traitor. They'd be like, girl, you're literally smoking crack. Bob is not a traitor. And then Boston Rob let Dylan convince him that he was convinced that I was a traitor. So Dylan thought he convinced Boston Rob that I was a traitor. I was actually never a traitor. That never happened. I mean, Boston Rob was never convinced. He didn't need to be convinced because he knew for a fact I was a traitor.
He was a traitor.
So then Boston Rob used his like clout and his sway and his manipulation and his gaslighting to convince everyone, yeah, Dylan made me believe this. So up until that point, my name was never said. I had not been brought up. None of that had happened. And I also didn't do the thing that Boston Rob claimed I did, where I was like, you're one of the bad guys. I was not trying to get Boston Rob out. I was not on anyone's radar. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. Danielle Reyes was also a fantastic traitor on their show. She was beyond good. The fans hate her. She was beyond good on that show.
She was crying.
She was
every
good,
5
but
seconds.
the fact that you're like, she was beyond good and I was a perfect traitor and would do better than you shows exactly why your ass did not go as far as you could have, bitch. You were just out here talking your shit like this is Drag Race, bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. We know you're good at stuff. You cannot be that good here.
I did a show, but what ended up happening was I ended up going against like basically one of the goats of strategy-based television. So
kinda, but I mean, I feel like they say that.
I don't watch the show. I don't watch that show, Survivor. So I don't know. But based on what everyone's saying, Boston Rob is that girl. Boston Rob is that girl. Has been that girl for 20 some odd years, and will always be that girl. So considering that I went head to head with someone who does this, like who has done this, they're on their like 6th, 7th, 8th time doing this particular thing, and this is my first time doing it. I genuinely did a great job on their show, and a lot of people were gooped, gagged, and gathered that I was a traitor, and literally had no clue.
Highkey. So I'm excited. Let's bring in Niecy Nash. Hello, Niecy.
Hello.
Oh my God, Niecy, I haven't seen you since you were We Hope Pride. It was a couple years ago. I'm host of We Hope Pride, and you were being honored. And Jessica performed there for the first time.
Yes.
And it was such a moment being connected with you in that space. And really just, they always say, don't ever meet your heroes. But I got to say, Niecy Nash is not the girl they're talking about.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, let's celebrate though. I feel like you got a lot going on right now. You Out 100 Icon of the Year. Insane.
I know.
How you feel about that?
Listen, I my head was about to pop off. You know, because honestly, you don't do the things that you do for people to say, we want to honor you. You just live your life in such a way. Yeah. And I just think that that's the beauty of it, you know, loving out loud, living out loud, and being unapologetic about who I love and how I love. And I just love I was an ally, but now I'm a card-carrying member, and I really love it here.
Yeah, I heard you getting some good benefits, too. You got the benefits. I'm like, what? I need that package.
Honestly, I'm very curious for you. How do you feel the public support was when, you got your card stamped?
Well, that's a good question, because at first, I think people thought it was fake. And they were like, this can't be real. This is a joke. This is a movie. Because I wasn't someone who you saw out to dinner dating, because I got married in COVID.
Mm-hmm. You
so
sure did.
The world was shut down. So all I did was I had a very small wedding in my backyard, 24 people, and I posted a picture. So when I posted the picture, it was the first time anyone had ever seen me in a same-sex relationship. So people were like, this is fake. This is not real. I know she lying.
Yeah.
You know, and, or it's a movie. It's a part. It's a bit.
I mean, for sure. I remember that dropping, and I thought the same. I was like, "Wait, is this like the actual ending of Claws that I really need in my life? Like, what's happening here?"
The part of that I was curious about, that I was like, "No, this can't be real." Is 24 people? How did you get it down that small?
Well, because it was COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't have I didn't want to be irresponsible and, try to throw a big wedding and people start dropping like flies.
Oh, I was going to say that to all the great grand cousins and nieces that were pressuring me.
So sad, too bad. We had to knock it down to just the minimum, and I had drive up COVID testing in the front.
Yeah.
Then you got your custom mask, and you came in the back.
And here's the thing. So it's 5 years from that. Y'all just celebrated your anniversary, you and Jessica?
Yes, but everybody did come to my anniversary party now.
Oh, see, and that's what I was thinking. You had a larger celebration after like the smaller wedding, and like 5 years, you reflect over so much. And I wonder, is there something that you've been reflecting about your actual wedding day that you just like remember and you cherish so much? Like, what do you remember from that moment? Because it was, I gotta say, it was a Beyonce level self-titled when she made the world stop, when she released her album. That was the sort of reaction that people had when you let the world in on this beautiful relationship.
Well, two things come to mind. One is how I found my dress.
Tell us.
Well, Siri helped me find it.
What? Whoa,
because
whoa.
I was 2 weeks from my wedding. And I had gotten a dress, and it arrived, and it didn't fit me well, and none of the things, and I just started crying. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a dress. And I know that for weddings, you got to plan out, and it's got to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, Siri. And she said, mm-hmm. And I said, where can I get a dress? And she told me a bridal shop that was open called Lily's Bridals. I cried all the way there. I got there. I was still crying. And the lady said, I'll be with you. I had a mask on. She said, just 1 minute. I picked up a dress, and I'm like, I'll try this on. Threw it in the dressing room, went in there and tried it on, and came out. And another girl came over and touched my arm, and she said, I know who you are. And I thought she was going to say, I know you from Reno 911. I know you from, TV. I know you from whatever. And in my mind, my inner monologue was, bitch, I don't care where you think you know me from. I'm sitting up here crying because I don't have a dress.
Stress it out.
So real.
And she touched my arm and didn't even call me by my name. She said, you're Michael Inslee's sister. I went to high school with your brother, and I was there the day he got murdered on campus. He was so kind and so loving. And I cried all over the front of the dress, and I said, I'll take it.
Wait, really? How serendipitous? I mean, like, that doesn't happen every single day.
I don't even know how it happened, but that is what happened. And I was like, I'll take it. And when I opened these 2 double doors right here in front of me to come out in the dress, the look on Jessica's face, Shaka Khan said, ain't nobody. And the doors flung open.
Yeah.
And I stepped out that door, and the way Jessica looked at me in that dress, she said, I have never seen you look more beautiful. And she still has that picture on her side of the nightstand and all of the things. And I push my bouquet forward, and I think of that often. And so much so that for our 5-year wedding anniversary, I'm telling you, I don't know how lightning struck twice. I went back to Lily's Bridal, and the first dress I picked up, because I wanted a short dress. She said, we don't have any short dresses. And I picked up a
dress. I gotta get body on my wedding.
I picked up a dress, and she was like, now that's cute. We could cut the bottom. And then she called the designer, and he said, let me come over there and help you out. He came to the bridal shop, my custom dress. It was just, I could not even believe. Oh, and then, let me tell you something else. The day of the dress, The day of the party, I'm in the dress, I'm ready, hair beat, face beat. And I said, oh, this décolleté, it need a little something.
It need a little
So
jushin'.
I picked up some bronzer and the pump was stuck. Boom. All over the dress.
Yeah.
Now I'm crying again. And my folks from the bridal shop, the designer who made the dress, Christopher and Lisa from Lily Bridals, rushed over. I called. I said, y'all, I messed this dress up. They said, send us a picture. We on the way.
Oh.
And when you look at my phone, I don't know what they did, but when they picked up the dress, they walked over to the sink. The lady said, look away. Because it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Black magic.
Yeah.
They did black magic to get that white dress white again.
And so they fixed it, and my party was beautiful, and yeah.
Oh,
So I'm
that's so
definitely
beautiful.
a girl who has had dress challenges, but they always work out.
Well, I think it's so beautiful, though. Like, it really explains why it feels like everything with you and Jessica just is like divine, because to have this moment, to plan a wedding in 2020 in the height of that pandemic, were y'all even questioning doing it, or were you just kind of like, why not? We are at this crossroads in life where I'm just going to do what I want. Why not? If I want to marry you, I'm going to marry you.
I have never questioned celebrating love.
Yeah.
Ever. And so, yes, and I don't care who showed up. I was going to be there. We got Coleman Domingo to be our officiant. He's my dear friend, and he was our officiant. He and I are still having a war of words about his outfit choice that he married us in, but that we'll say that for another day.
Please, it was. I mean, the yellow is pretty sickening, though. I thought it looked beautiful against you all.
Yeah, but
you said don't upstage me.
See, I was gonna say that's the danger of inviting a flashy faggot to your wedding. I'm banned from all of my friends' weddings, okay? Because they know I'll show up in
you gonna
this.
show up doing too much. No, but we had such a beautiful time, and we still celebrate any and everything.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I just that is just so scary having to do that, but y'all really pulled that stuff off. But I think what's really beautiful too, and I would love to talk even more about the ways that, one thing about you, if we see you out, Jessica will be right there with you. And there's also a love of appreciate. Like, you are such a beautiful amplifier to even her work. Like, you all just balance each other out, right? Like, you let her shine. And was that something that was really important for you in this stage of really locking in with someone, knowing that they will support you when you support them, and you can equally do the same?
Well, in our early conversations, whether it's work or, just day-to-day life, we talked early on, and I said, reciprocity is the order of the day.
Ooh.
I want it always, in all ways. And she was like, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Highkey.
So the fact that we are there for each other, it's just a given. And I mean, I've been in situations where you've been with people and you have to play small.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And you dial it down.
Yeah.
But Cardi B say, don't do too much.
Period.
Don't do too much. And, in this marriage, I love being here in this partnership because, we wake up every morning and somebody is putting a battery in somebody's bag. Remember who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
so I love it like that. Let me tell you something. I've been in spaces and places with my whole pedigree and my whole self where I'm like, no, I got the amp. I'll carry this. Let me wrap the cord around my arm. What else you need?
Yeah.
Because true love is to be of service.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about your who. It's about what you do. Where is the exchange and reciprocity, and when you're there for me and I'm there for you and all the things?
Absolutely.
So that's baked in strong.
What's interesting is I feel like that's something that you've been able to bring to a lot of your different character work throughout the years, and no matter how diversely different they are. Like, I'm such a Claus girly, and your performance was very nuanced, which is funny because, like, that was coming off of, at least in my mind, me growing up, seeing you on Reno 911, being like, oh, this bitch is wild.
Can I say, before I knew what a mockumentary was, I was young when Reno 911 came out. I thought that shit was real. I thought y'all were real police officers, and I thought you were most definitely telling folks, because it was a mockumentary based off of like the show Cops. And so I literally thought at one point, being a young kid watching this show, being like, oh my God, this black police officer just told this girl about her kitchen and her edges and how those continents don't meet. Like, I was like, oh, this is legendary. And then, of course, I think it just speaks to the work that you all were doing at that time, because what a brilliant show. Like, what a brilliant show to jump out
First of all, thank you. Second of all, I had never heard of a sketch comedy, like improv comedy troops, and I never heard of Groundlings, Second City. I was over there on 120th and Vermont, minding my black business, okay? And then when they called and said, can you audition for this show? I just lied and was like, yes, I know exactly how to do all of that. I hung up that phone and I called my friend Big George and I'm like, what the hell is sketch? What do I got to do? And I didn't know enough to be nervous or be afraid. I was just 100% myself. And I never forget when I went to the first one, it was taking such a long time. And I knocked on the door and I said, excuse me, like, what time is this dog and pony show gonna get started? And the lady said, why, are you in a hurry? I said, ma'am, I am. I gotta get my kids to Chuck E. Cheese by 7 o'clock. The last time I got there late, they jumped on the mouse, the head came off, the man ran in the back and never came back out. So yeah, I gotta go.
And then they were like,
wait, why did we have that on camera?
Who is this little girl?
With all this mouth.
And so they let me come in and audition. And then when I came back, I got a call back. I said, I begged my mama to watch my kids. Mama, please, because I just got to be focused.
Yeah.
I go to the call back. And as soon as I walked in, I said, hey, how's everybody doing? They said, what happened at Chuck E. Cheese? I said, what? Now I do a high five on Chuck E. Cheese. And you know what I mean? And I don't know if in that moment I was the most talented girl that came in there, but I do know that I was very comfortable in my skin.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to be anybody else. And I did not, I didn't even step on myself to suppress like how I really talk, how I really move, how I really,
there was
how
no
I really
code
show
switching.
up.
Yeah.
No, I was just like, what's good?
Do you miss comedy? Like, do you miss... you are such a... when you're in a dramatic role, you have done so many incredible dramatic performances, but I wonder, do you miss being in comedy? Like, is that a pivot you want to continue? Because I feel like people pigeonhole you. Once you start doing a dramatic...
What happened was I got stuck in doing sitcoms and they were like, no, we know what you do. And I was like, I'm telling y'all I can do something else. And then it took me so long to get them to see that I could do something else. The first thing that I did was a show on HBO called Getting On. Yep. I got 2 Emmy nominations from that show. And then all of a sudden, people forgot I was funny. I got, asked to play all of these dramatic roles. And so now I'm back on this. Now I'm on this side of the line, trying to figure out how to get back on that side of the line. Yeah. Because I love the balance. I love to be able to do both. And mind you, when I was filming Dahmer, which I won the Emmy for, I was also filming the Reno 911 movie, Hunt for QAnon, at the same time. Take the booty off, take the baby hair off, go put on my glasses and be Glenda Cleveland. Take off my glasses, put the booty back on, drive back across town. So I was able to film them at the same time.
Wow. Yeah.
Was that a trip? Was that like more fulfilling for you to get to express yourself in these dramatically different ways? Or was it like sometimes, was it ever difficult to be like, oh shit, the booty's on, but I'm still not here?
No, because you know why? Because you know why? I'm not a method actor. I take it off. When I take it off, it's off. So I never felt like, oh, I have to work to come up out of this character to be able to get into this one. I was like, oh, I feel like laughing. Hey, y'all, just coming to the next bit and get on up out of there. So I enjoy both equally, but I am dying to do something funny. Mm-hmm.
And what does that look like for you? Because one thing that I know about you is you have such a wonderful community around you, like your network, right? Like you and Ryan Murphy seem to just understand and get each other on levels where y'all been working with each other since I think I read 1998 when he cast you in like a WB project.
It was called Popular 1,000 years ago.
And I'm like that to know that your network and your relationship, stayed so strong with each other. Talk to us a little bit about that, right? Because I'm assuming when you find someone who just gets you, those are the people that you want to work with the rest of your career.
Well, you know what? It's not only that, but I love Ryan's creativity. I'm like, how does your mind work? How did you think of this? Where did you get this from? So I love him. You know what I mean? I get to see a different side of him. He's very stoic when he's out. Now that's somebody who don't do too much. But I get to see him beyond the veil. And I just enjoy him as a person. And he will always and forever, Ryan Murphy and Ava DuVernay will forever have me at hello.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
That's so
Because I said
strong.
yes to Dahmer and didn't even know what it was. He just called and was like, hey, I've got this thing I want you to do. And I was like, okay. And then he sent it and I was like, yeah,
I said okay.
Way to bury the lead. Give me a heads up, why don't you?
But now there's a trust, I'm assuming, between you two where it's like, if he gonna knock on your door or call you, it's going to be something that's meaty and that you are going to automatically want to do.
For sure.
That's beautiful.
And I have been having such a good time with the ladies on Allsware. So, very true.
Now, is that going to be a little fun? I feel like and that shows particularly, it's coming off as a drama, but I feel like you're going to be bringing some of the comedy chops to it though, right?
It's a drama, but it also has a little camp. It's a workplace, but you get to follow all of the girls home.
Yeah.
But we all play divorce attorneys at a very high-power firm that Kim Kardashian's character, Allura Grant, is the head of.
Word. I feel like that is drama and comedy in and of itself. Legit, that's just amazing for how beautiful this is, recognizing who we all are outside of our characters.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious though, because I feel like I've had a lot of conversations with Ryan this year talking about how horror is blending a lot as a genre with comedy and even like romantic movies. Would you ever consider stepping in something that is a comedically sharpened horror role? They're like, yeah, you get to be a scream queen, but you also I don't know, have extra giant tits and they're green. I don't know. This is sounding like a Marvel movie.
Wait a minute. What's the name of that cartoon I did that for?
He said, actually, that is a character that I've played.
Yeah, Keke Palmer was in it.
Human Resources?
Boom.
There, yes.
I don't know why my mind wasn't going there. I literally thought it was
literally, as soon as you said, I was like, yep, human resources.
And I shot rockets out of the girls. Sure did. I'm up for pretty much anything. And and anything I have never done always excites me. I've never played a villain. I'm looking forward to doing that, at some point. It's just some things where you say, oh, I have never done this, I've never done that. And if it's on a never done list, I'm always sign me up.
Highkey.
Ryan, I thought I was going to get to see you.
No, it's kind of crazy because here's the thing. This show is, because of our schedules, is virtual, but I was hoping that we would be able to work something out in LA when you were here, but
I'm so sad.
I'm obsessed with you.
But I love you. I haven't seen you since ABFF.
I know. And like even before then, it was, oh my God, it was like Glad Honors or something. Like it was something Glad related. And I'm just like,
something
why?
gay, baby. It was something gay and
Always.
black.
Always.
I didn't know y'all went back like that.
Oh
Like,
my
this
God.
is-
You know.
Oh my God, the Slake on? Are you kidding me? What?
Y'all just like right now, y'all are
Please.
giving me my two aunties who show up to a family barbecue that we all knew was happening. It was like,
Yes. I ain't seen her from way back.
This is nice, though. I feel very, very safe and very alone.
As you should. Only the best for you, Jesse. Seriously, I really mean it when I say I'm so excited about, one, this new era that you are in, and this moment that really looks so refreshing on you. You know what I mean?
you,
I've been
friend.
like, it's really nice to witness, and you already wear so many hats. You're the actor, director. I mean, your new album is officially out.
Yes. This is the first interview that I've done since the album has been out.
Crazy.
That's right.
Well,
What?
Well, thank you, babe.
damn, I wish this was like dropping right now.
I know.
You know, just be
I
like,
know. It should be
give,
live.
Give them a Janet nip slip or something.
Right.
Really help.
We need to sell this.
Nip slip.
Let me give you a little something. Now, but no, I think when you look at where you are right now, what part of your artistry is making you feel most alive?
It's love. It's love. You know, I think about it often, and I've been thinking about it, especially being on this, promo tour for particularly the music. I've been trying to figure out, like, what is the difference between me as the artist and me as the man? And I start to realize that they're both the same. Because if I enter the room with authenticity and I enter the room with true honesty and integrity, then, it is who I am, and I'm presenting who I am as I am. And I think that for so long, you can kind of get wrapped up in presenting a piece of yourself because you don't want to give away too much, or you're scared of the scrutiny, especially with what we do and who we are and how we can be perceived, having to explain your life time and time again can get exhausting. And,
I bet. I can only really imagine.
But it's not just for me though, y'all. It's for anybody it's for you. It's for y'all too. You know what I mean? Anybody that by society standards, it's deemed different. We're going to have to explain, if you will, ourselves a little bit more than the everyday person that doesn't have to do that, And in one sense, you lean into it because you know that there are babies out there, that if we had the representation that people have now, as difficult as it is, as much as our identities are, attempting to erase our identities, we still have more representation. We have more resources that are out there for us to feel just a little bit less alone, right?
Is there ever a part of you though that like wants to remove the you part from things? Like I have to say, there's some times I've definitely like had, I don't want to call them regrets, but like regrets about sharing aspects of myself, even though I know they help the babies. It's like, you're like, damn, I'm just like trying to eat a sandwich on the street.
Right. And
Well,
you know what it is? Hell yes, to your question.
Hell yes. Every damn day, I just want to be a regular bitch walking down the damn street.
I just really do. But at the same time, I do think that it comes with, I don't know. I just
responsibility.
Yeah, it does.
Are you about to drop that Spider-Man shit on me, Uncle Ben?
See, responsibility is not always fun, but it also is, but there's a way to find the joy in that. You know what I mean? And it's like, there are more, I think the most difficult thing is you start to be looked at as only one thing. And what ends up happening is that you feel like you have to talk about that. You have to carry that in everything that you do, when in actuality, I don't turn over in the morning and look at my fiance, who just so happens to be a man, and say, gosh, we're representing.
Yeah, right. You're like, you know what? I am eating up this DEI thing.
Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, yes. Like, yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't look at him and be like, yes, diversity. You know what I mean? It's just my life. It's just my life. But I also recognize once you go outside, and, you know, I've said this, that it's hard because what you don't want to do is you don't want to start making money off of your art, and then all of a sudden you become a customer service agent.
Well, and here's the thing. You grew up in a very, not even like, I wouldn't say it's not a normal way of growing up, but I think a lot of people can't say that they grew up in a family that was like all about activism and fighting for something in a community, right?
Which,
and I think that feels like
intense.
Right, I would imagine. But I also feel like it kind of helps you shape that mindset around knowing, like, okay, I'm going to continue to be the representation in the art that I love, but I'm also not going to be a commodity.
And I think that that's what it is, because, again, it has to do with your upbringing. So that's the perfect point to pull in, because there was a point where I remember being a little kid, and we were not allowed to watch Charlie Brown.
Oh, child, I grew up
Because my mom would be like,
they are racist. They got that one little black character, and he'll never have no friends.
we weren't able to watch it. Like, we just were not. There were certain movies and certain directors. I remember we were not allowed. I did not see, and we saw every old movie there was to see. Every old movie, every Joan Crawford. I could name, I think Joan Crawford did like 81 films. I know this because my mother has every Joan Crawford VHS still in this treasure chest in her
historian,
bedroom.
archivist.
Yeah, no, she really is. All the posters, everything. But we were not allowed to watch like Gone with the Wind until I was an adult. And I was like, okay, like I'm a filmmaker. I need to see this damn movie.
I actually need to see the classics.
I've seen clips. My mom would let us watch the Carol Burnett thing of her dressed as Scarlett O'Hara forever, but we were not allowed to watch that. And it was just, it's the way that we were brought up. I remember my father, who was not black. He's no longer with us, but was not black. He'd be calling white people like really derogatory names. And I'm like, bruh, like, don't do that.
He said, now hold on. You gotta remember, you're not black.
It's just like, bruh, like calm down, bruh.
He fighting for the cause.
Calm down. He'd say sometimes, he'd be like, well, man, because we don't do that. We black. And I'm like, but you ain't. You ain't, bro. So it's just the way that we grew up. So I think that I carry that. So it's a little bit less of I think that I stress more over people scrutinizing my personal life rather than people scrutinizing what and who I am, you know, as a black man, as a gay man, as a queer man. Like, it
Say more about that. What does that mean for you when you're saying scrutinizing your personal life?
Like when you walk into a room and you know that people are like thinking about every aspect of you that they know about, rather than your art that you are here to
every single eccentric. And here's the thing, friend, they may not even be thinking about that. But you're thinking about them thinking about that.
Oh, you know what I mean? Because you know some mofo in the damn world is thinking about that. Mm-hmm. So you know somebody in that room, or you feel that somebody. And sometimes, look, there have been times where I've been sitting down at a restaurant and someone's staring, and I just think that they hate me or they're a hater, or I'm just like, they over there,
feel
and
it
they
in your
talking,
soul,
and they taking pictures, and they laughing, and then they'll walk up and be like, I just want to say that I love you so much. And I'm just like, oh my God, I feel so stupid.
Damn.
I am so stupid.
Yeah.
Because sometimes insecurity can lead you to, you got to watch it that it don't lead you to be self-absorbed. Because you might actually think that more people are thinking about you just in general, whether it's good or bad, and they're not even thinking about you at all.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I was hooking up with this guy in his hot tub last night.
Okay.
I guess that part of the story wasn't
there
important.
on Highkey, please. Just sit back and relax.
I was hanging out with a friend last night who
A friend.
was
Is it your
telling
friend
me,
or your friend?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just learned his name yesterday, so
Crazier shit has happened.
I have to say, please.
But he's just got out of a very long relationship that is also tied to a big event or party. And so he was expressing like how when he was walking around this event and party that's like all about like authenticity, like free, uninhibited expression, that all he was thinking about was everybody and how he knows that they're talking about him. And I was like, girl, it sounds like you were just like a little too plugged in. Like you need to find, if everyone does know you in this space, you need to find somewhere to put yourself that like you can at least be at peace and learn a new way to move through the world. So my question is for you, when you are moving through these spaces and you feel overwhelmed, you feel everybody like talking their thoughts, talking their shit, like, where do you put yourself? How do you like decompress from the thoughts that you're thinking people are thinking?
The story you're telling yourself, essentially.
I imagine that I'm Whitney Houston.
Okay, explain.
Okay, which Whitney Houston? Okay, there's a lot of cultural references for the kids.
I mean, no, Whitney. Please, Whitney is the god of all things vocal. But please tell me more.
I remember back in the day there was this movie that Angela Bassett directed, right, about Whitney Houston, and former America's Next Top Model and actress Yaya played Whitney Houston. I remember there was this one line where she was getting out of the car and she said, "Time to be Whitney Houston." And that stuck with me as I stay with me. It stuck with me because I feel like it said so much more about you create a version of yourself that just deals with it. You just deal with it until you are out of the situation, and then you breathe, because you don't have time in that moment if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling, and I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself. If you're feeling anxious or you're feeling, insecure or just low, whatever it may be, and you have work to do and you have places to be, you gotta buck up. For myself, I just have to buck up, because I'm not gonna allow any of my insecurities to spill over, and just in case there is somebody there that feels some sort of way, that I would give them a moment. I wouldn't want to do that. So what I try to do is, my godmother, Deanna, one of my godmothers, is she constantly says this thing. She's like, baby, just go where the love is. Go where the love is. Go where the love is. And you can't always go where the love is, but you can find where the love is in every single situation, even if that means finding the love, like going to the bathroom for a second, getting yourself together and coming back out.
Yeah.
Because and being like, you know what, in this moment, I'm not faking it till I make it. I'm just covering myself.
Taking space myself for yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
Let's talk about that, right? Because I think that's really beautiful, like finding the love, right, wherever you can. And I think a lot of times you can find the love in community, but I know it can be rough when you have been someone who has like gone through so much in the public eye. If we're not going to talk about it, work, totally fine. But I want to acknowledge that, because I think that's a part of a beautiful part of your journey.
Thank you.
And I wonder, how did community shift for you? Did you still feel like, I know you had your family who will always be there. I mean, blood's thick in the water, honey. But also your chosen family, the people that you were maybe publicly aligned with, or even personally in your world. How has community shifted the way that you think about it now?
Oh, that's such a good question. Girl, what I've realized is that I used to think that I wasn't fine enough.
Oh my God, I literally just have had her on blast all weekend for no reason. It's for this moment.
Please.
I just go into my bedroom and I listen to Keisha Cole. That's how I get through life. No, what I realized is that I used to think that two things. I used to think that the world, this is going to sound like I'm jaded, and maybe I am in this part, but I used to think that the majority of the world was good people that were fighting against bad, right? I started to see the world as the majority was bad people fighting to appear to be good. And that is exhausting in itself, but there are still incredible people in the world.
Of course.
And most people, their intentions are good, but they just screw up. So you got to recognize the root of people's intentions, because I'm not going to judge you based on what you do. I'm going to judge you based on how you react when you are approached with what you did.
Yeah.
You know? And I used to believe that if you were Black, you're a part of my community. If you are any of the letters, you my baby, you my boo, you are my community. And I started to realize that that's not true. In actuality, my community are the people that show up, that are there when times are amazing and are there when times are bad. Tell me when I'm doing great and tell me when I'm fucking up. Hold my feet to the fire. Tell me. Hold me accountable, please.
Yay Media Group.